In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial from my group on how to cut this stylish bralette on the bust gown with gathers. So if this is something you like, please kindly hit on the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. To start this dress, the first thing you need to know is the gown length. So after getting your gown length, go ahead to minus your shoulder to waist measurement from the pattern. So my shoulder to waist measurement is 17 and my gown length is 60. So 60 minus 17, I will have 43 inches left. So I want the waistline not to start exactly on my waist. I want to go up by 1 inch from my waist. So I'll add it back to the gown length for the lower part, which will now be 44 inches. So for the gathered part of this dress, you'll be needing about 44 inches by 3 yards for the lower part to gather it. So just like I said, I went up by 1 inch from my waistline, and this is because I don't want my pattern to start exactly at the waist. I want it to have this high waistline. So from here I marked my shoulder divided by 2 and I'll mark 1 inch for my shoulder. The next step is to go ahead to find my chest line, which I will mark my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Mine is 7 inches, which I marked, and I'll draw out a straight line there. So after I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead to place back my shoulder divided by 2, and I will go ahead to connect a straight line from the upper part of my shoulder to the chest line. So I'll also go ahead to divide what I have at the chest line into 2. So after dividing it, what I'm going to have is 3 inches because my chest line is 7 inches, sorry, 3.5. I'll come in by ½ inch. Then on the chest line, I'll go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. I'll place my curve drew, connect to that ½ inch and connect all the way up. After I'm done marking my pattern, the next step is to mark the upper bodies. So looking at this dress, there's no dart on this dress. So what I'll do is to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add ½ inch. Mark my under bust circumference divided by 4, add ½ inch. And also mark my waistline at the new waistline and add ½ inch to it. My under bust and waist measurement is 28 inches divided by 4, which gave me 7, and I added half. While my bust measurement is 33 divided by 4, I marked and added ½ inch to it. So now I'll go ahead to come down at least by 3 inches from the neckline. So you can use 3 inches, 3.5 or 4 inches. So from there, I'll draw a straight line to that 3 inches point. And before drawing out the bralette area, I'll extend it by ½ inch. Then take it all the way to my under bust this way. So after taking that, I'll go ahead to connect to the other side of my pattern. So after connecting on that side, I'll go ahead to connect the under bust area of my pattern. So after doing that, so if you wear this dress without adding your dart, your pattern will gape by the side because that side will be free and open. So towards the armhole, I will come in by 3 inches and I'll be marking ½ inch on both sides. So I'll go ahead to extend this all to that point. This is to avoid having gaping on my pattern, right, on this side, so that it's going to relax. So I'm adding a dart at this point. So here I'll come up by ½ inch, and which I will slant it down to the side. So there are different methods also of cutting out a bralette. This is quite easy. You can use this method, or I have another tutorial on the channel where I also cut out a bralette under bust dress. So I'll just go ahead and cut out. When I'm cutting this out, I'll make sure that the pattern is matching on both sides, and after this I'll pin it up. So after pinning it up, I'll continue cutting this out. So after cutting this out, I'll just cut a little strip to show that you're going to be attaching this to the neckline of the dress for the upper part. So now for this upper part, I'm just going to trim here off a little because this side is supposed to fit at the under bust this way. So for the back pattern of this dress, all you need to do is just to cut this part at the under bust. And when you're cutting this pattern, make sure it's on fold, that is 2 pieces, because you don't have to add or join it, there's no dart on it. Now I'm going to place another pattern paper which I'll be using to cut out the back. And while cutting out the back pattern, I'm going to place this on it and then fold up that 1/2 inch and add a zipper to it. This is the back pattern. So if you don't want to have joining on your back pattern, go ahead to merge up the sewing allowance of the front and the back, and you'll be cutting out the pattern at the under bust as one piece for your dress this way. All you have to do is just to notch the center so that when you cut it, you will know where the bralette meets. So you just join your pattern and cut it as one piece for the dress. So after cutting this, you notice that there's a little slash and spread method there. You can just cut this open at this area, leave the side going towards the armhole to avoid having gaping at that side. So you just spread this and cut this out, then you're going to pleat it back to your pattern. Then after that, go ahead to add the lower pattern which we calculated earlier to your dress.